Hey guys, Kid Resaw here, back with another garage sale video. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I hit up a couple garage sales. One's like a hoarder house. You're gonna see how bad it was, but yeah, let's get started with the first clip where I find a really good item. So I'm gonna show you all the item I find pretty quickly right here. These Clifford overalls. If you ever find them out in the wild, you should pick them up. I'll go over in the summary what they sold for, but yeah, they sold pretty fast. I only paid $1 for these. I only know about that because I followed a Facebook group where I saw somebody posted. So sometimes those Facebook groups, although it's a bunch of junk in there usually, you can always find some decent stuff in there and sometimes find some items that you should be on the lookout for. This was a garage sale a couple months ago now, probably. I think this item sold in the early November. So yeah, a little while ago. I decided to look at more stuff as I found the Clifford overalls, but I didn't really find anything else. It was mainly clothing at this sale, and this was also later in the day, like 11 a.m. So it's basically one of the last sales I went to that day and found a really good item that was just sitting there out in the open. So, yeah, I'll talk about it in the summary, what it sold for, but if you can find Clifford overalls, you should definitely be picking them up. They are a major, major bolo, like 3 times major. If you think of 100, 200, 300. I'll talk about it in the summary and show the clip. So y'all might have seen me sell this in the past. It sold November 6th. I looked back on the listing as I was looking up the sold price. This is Clifford overalls. If you don't know about these, you should definitely put them on your BOLO list. I was there at like 10:30 or 11. One of the last garage sales I went to that day, and it was just sitting there staring at me. Like literally, I look down and I see it staring at me. I'm like, okay, I've seen this in a Facebook group before. I think this is the correct thing. You know, it said Clifford on it. It had Clifford brand. Luckily, unfortunately, it didn't have the undershirt. If it had the undershirt, which went underneath the overalls, it would have been worth it like probably 500. But this sold for $303. I'm gonna show it right here. $303 for a pair of 3T kids 3T overalls. Sometimes you just never know why. I don't know if it happened because of the new movie that came out with Clifford, or I don't know why they all of a sudden became so popular. But they are, at the moment at least, they are popular. And if you find them, you should definitely be listing them. If you have them at your house, your kids used to wear them, get them out of the wherever you stored them at and list them on eBay because they're worth a ton of money. $303. I paid $1 for that. $1 at that garage sale. Unfortunately, that's all I found. I didn't find any other vintage clothing, but I'll take the $300 sale any day. So that was a really good start to this video, obviously. This one was kind of recent. The one I'm about to show was a pretty long time ago. This one, the clip I'm about to show, which is, I'm going to show like 4 clips, but they're all from the same house. It's a hoarder house. It was bad. Unfortunately, I got there right after someone who I know does reselling got there. So I saw them leaving as I was going in. So I was like, I knew I was in trouble. But basically, it was a fill up. This next sale is fill a box for, I think it was $30 or something like that. So let's go look at that sale, and then I'll come back with a summary of what I found, or what I remember I found. I don't know if I showed it in the clips, but I'll come back with a summary of what I found and if anything from there has sold so far. Here is clip number 1 from the hoarder house. As you can kind of tell, everything is everywhere. Like I said, or I guess I didn't say this yet because summary's after this. This is a fill a box for $30. I did say it in the last clip. $30, fill a box. I did pick up this hat right here. It's Freemason stuff. That usually sells decently well. Hadn't sold yet, but I think that was probably one of the better items I actually picked up. I don't really find too much stuff, like I said in the clip before. A lot of this stuff, the other resellers they right before me, all the Lego boxes, unfortunately, are empty. As you can tell by me shaking them like this, I'm just trying to check and see if there's any Lego in there. Either someone had already picked them all up, or, you know, they just were never there to begin with. I'm not sure. I didn't get a clear answer out of the lady. The lady also checked every single item that I brought out. I talked about this in the summary. Every single item I brought out, she checked it to see if she wanted to keep it or not. So unfortunately, she did take some of the stuff I found, but I found some decent items here. I'm sure I could have found more if I stayed, but this was a by appointment only estate sale, so you kind of had to make an appointment, and I didn't feel like staying there too long. And some of the stuff was just, I just didn't feel like digging and, you know, turning everything over. I'm sure at one point it didn't look like this messy, but I'm sure there were obviously there's other people there before me, and the stuff got thrown everywhere probably. So that's why I decided to just keep looking and see if I can find anything. That was all the toys right there. That thing right there might have been worth something Lego Star Wars. It was just a poster though. If I found a box of manuals, I would have picked that up because the manuals I've sold in the past for pretty good money, for at least some Star Wars ones. Some older Star Wars manuals have sold pretty well in the past. So yeah, I don't see anything that great. I think I actually picked up some plush as well. I'm not sure if I show them in the clips or not, but yeah, you can see all the boxes. Sometimes Lego boxes do sell for money, but I don't usually pick them up because you have to find a way to ship them. Hey, something just sold. Did y'all hear that? I think y'all probably did. That's a Mercari sale. So that happened live. That's one thing I pick up. I haven't sold it yet, but I think that's probably my best item I picked up. It was some old Beta Club pins you can put on, wear them as pins or whatever. So none of them looked like they were precious metals or anything. Sometimes those can be. I probably should have picked those up. Needlepoint magazine, you just never know. And since I was filling a box, I decided to look everywhere for this. So there was a decent amount of cat stuff. I picked up a decent amount of cat stuff because I figured, I could try and sell it either at my own garage sale because, there's a ton of stuff. There's a cat thing right there. Speaking of cats, I don't pick that up, I don't think. I might have, should have. Now looking back, I probably wish I had picked it up. But yeah, moving on to the next clip, same exact sale. That was also a really good item that I think is going to be worth some money. It's like a deer hunting plaque kind of thing. So I decided to pick that up as well. Just surveying everything at this sale. I was looking everywhere, trying to look places that people hadn't looked before. Look up top and see if what's up there. I picked up some decent chalkware as well, if you know what that is. It's some kind of like spices and vegetables and stuff like that. Just random items that people used to display a ton and you don't see those being made anymore. Especially, well, you might see them being made, but they're not nearly as nice of quality as they used to be. Looking up there, it's all books. I don't pick up any books at this sale. That was a shark, I think. Pass on him. There's Christmas lights in there that I pass on as well. Christmas lights usually aren't really worth much money. There's a leg or some kind of Lego thing. I can't remember if I picked that up. I don't think I do though. But yeah, just looking at everything at this sale. If y'all saw something interesting, let me know what it was, because I'm sure there was some stuff I missed at this sale. I'm sure some of those books might have been worth money, but I just didn't see any reason to pick up the books. And yeah, I'm going to keep looking and I'll come back with a little bit more of this voiceover. Continuing on with this estate slash junk slash hoarder garage sale, whatever you want to call it. Continue looking at this room right here. I'm just looking to see if there's something I haven't spotted yet. You can see the dust up there. The boot, I passed on that. Just a random Texas boot. I don't think it was really worth any money from what I could tell. I tried to open some of the drawers. That, I don't think it was worth any money. Maybe it would be to like a crafting person, but I decided to pass on that for this sale. I think I actually came back another day and saw if there's anything else that I wanted, but I didn't buy anything that day. This is the next clip as well. Weston, I picked that up. I thought it might have been worth something. I don't think it was really worth much. I think it is actually listed on eBay, but it's not really worth any money. I thought it might have been something really expensive at first, but I think it's just something to do with cameras. And that's the bag I was using at the sale to transport stuff back to the box that I actually had. So I just put that little thing in there, decided to, put it in there and just go through it later. That was random shotgun shells, I guess. I'm not sure if it was actually, I think it was actually real bullets that were in there. So I picked that up. I thought she was going to take it, but she let me have it. So that might, I don't know how I'm going to ever sell it, but that was probably worth $30 right there for all that stuff that was in there. You see Wrangler brand, I think it was just the bag that they were using. If there had been more organization to sell, she would have sold a lot more stuff, because there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't get to and I didn't feel like trying to dig out of the area where it was at. So I think she actually did this 2 weekends in a row. So maybe on the next weekend, I didn't go to it the next weekend, but she might have had it more organized then. Usually with hoarder houses, you want to pay somebody to do all this work for you, so you don't have to sit there all day and make up prices as you go and then take stuff out of the pile. But yeah, sometimes these are my favorite estate sales because obviously it hasn't been searched through by a company. So usually it lends to you getting more stuff. Here's a summary. So what'd y'all think of that house? To me, that was a hoarder house, and I wasn't the first person in there, so I'm sure it was even worse before I got there. Unfortunately, as y'all saw in that first clip out of the 4, the Lego boxes were all empty, which is very disappointing because that would have been worth a lot of money. I'm sure all the Lego were probably just put in one big tub and someone is able to get it, the first person that got there. So basically, I saw this posting on Facebook, estate sale, clean out, basically prices per a medium box from Home Depot, basically 21 by 16 by 15, I think is the size on that. So from what I remember, I don't think any of those items are like big ticket items. None of them have sold for, $100 or anything, unfortunately. And then also the lady, her stipulation was you have to show her every single item before you get it. So you can go find something really good. You show it to her and she's going to take it from you because, she has a attachment to it or something like that. Whatever reason there was for that. I did sell a decent amount of the things on Whatnot, so I probably made my money back, at least on that box, just by selling the random, like a lot of cat stuff I sold on Whatnot for, $3 or $4 each, but it adds up, obviously. So I think I made my money back on it, but it just wasn't it wasn't probably wasn't worth the time I took to go and look and all that stuff. But it was a fun. It makes for a fun video to show y'all all the stuff that was in that house. I'm sure there was a lot of value somewhere in there. I just didn't. I didn't see it, and if I did see it, she took it away. So that's it for that clip. Let's go to this one. Is even older. This is one from Arkansas in May, I think. Whenever I went up there to visit my nephew for his birthday. I think that's what this is from. Let's go to the next clip. This was advertised as an estate sale, but it was actually garage sale prices, so I like that. I like when it's family-run estate sales because everything is usually pretty cheap, and you can actually get good deals. Look at the shoes at first. I decided to pass on those. I'll talk about this in the summary, but the stuff I pick up is actually, well, speaking of prices, that's not a good price. $50 for those. Maybe they were worth it, but I'm not going to pay $50 for a pair of boots. That looked dangerous, whatever it is. Something leather, I guess. Looks like you could stab somebody with it pretty easily. I passed on that thing as well. It looked interesting, but when I actually ran the comps for it, it wasn't worth anything. These, I almost picked them up. I probably should have, just for $1. I'm sure it took a lot of effort to make that. But based on what I looked at with the comps, and I'll talk about this in the summary, they weren't really worth much, and I just didn't feel like messing with having to find a way to ship them and trying to figure out how to list them. I probably could have done a big lot of them together and listed them for $50, maybe. I don't know if I would have gotten that or not, but this is another spot where I find some stuff. I think I actually picked up a couple items. I might have already put them at the front register. I think I did, actually. That's why you're not going to see them in this clip right here. But they all looked interesting. The stuff prices are pretty cheap. I think I showed the price on one or two of them. Maybe these mice right here were 25 cents. So, I mean, it's hard to get cheaper than that at an estate or garage. So I probably should have picked some more of this stuff up whenever it was that cheap of prices. But I decided to pass on them. On most of the things that were there. Go out of this room into, or over here. I think I picked up one or two of these items as well, but I don't remember for sure. I think I've actually picked up a board game. But like I said, this was, I don't know if I said this yet, but this was a long time ago. I did say that in the last clip. This was a long time ago. So the shoes were decently priced other than the boots, but I decided to pass on all these shoes. I didn't see any brands that I'm familiar with. And lately shoes haven't been selling that great for me. So unless I find them in a storage unit, same with clothes as well. Unless I find it in a storage unit, I'm probably not going to pick it up unless it's, $100 profit margin. Here's the summary. Here's another sale. The stuff I picked up at this sale is actually outside, and I forgot to film at that part. But it's basically toy bags for super cheap. As y'all saw, a lot of prices here were actually good. The art stuff made out of strings, I debated picking that up, but I just didn't feel like trying to ship it or figure out how to ship it because it would be in a big box, and I don't like, based on what I looked up, which is kind of hard to look that up because it's basically handmade stuff. None of the comps weren't there to justify paying $1 to then have to ship it for like $15. To me, at least, the comps weren't there and the sell-through rate wasn't there, so I decided to pass on all that. A lot of the stuff in that one room where you saw the 25-cent little mouse figures was pretty cheap, so it was a decent price to estate sale, which is hard to find. In my area, at least. I don't know about Arkansas, but in my area here in Baton Rouge, it's really hard to find decently priced estate sales. The shoes, I didn't really see anything that was worth it. Same with the clothes, but yeah, that's it for this one. Let's move on to the last sale, which is also in Arkansas, the same exact weekend. It was a sale where there's people that do storage units, I think, and I got some decent items there. Let's go to that one. Here's the last two clips for this video. It's the same sale, just two different clips. Looking at this one is a kind of they said they did storage units, which I asked them how they got this stuff. I usually like doing that just to see where people get it. If it looks like a collection of stuff, I ask them where they got it from. And that's like, oh yeah, I do storage units too. They're so much fun. And we just, kind of talk about storage units. All those dolls right there, I picked them up for $15 for all the Monster High stuff. Included is like the random accessories, which that thing actually did work, whatever that was. And then some of the dolls as well. I think I picked all of it up for $15. I can't remember for sure though, but a bunch of stuff at this sale that didn't really look that great to me. The little poppet things not worth it. The little lighthouses. Usually those aren't really worth much. Moving on to the next clip. Same sale, just a different clip. I did pick up some plush here, I think. I don't know if I showed them or not, but I did pick up a couple plush. I'm going to look at a Jason Aldean hat in a second that I decided to pass on. Based on the comps that I saw, it wasn't worth it. But someone else bought it right after I passed on it. So maybe I should have picked it up. I don't think I even actually asked what the price was. Hey, VHS. Yeah. I'm not going to pick up VHS unless it's sealed or horror VHS. And even then, some of the horror VHS aren't really worth that much money. But showing y'all everything, this is my kind of setup at a garage sale. Just throw it in a box and sell it. I don't like having to put prices on everything. It just takes way too much effort to price every single item I put at a garage sale. So usually when I do my garage sales, I say $1 for everything. unless specified, like shoes are 2 and bags and purses are 2 as well. So there's a Jason Aldean hat. I decided to pass on it based on the comps and sell-through rate I looked up. I'll talk about that in the summary as well. It wasn't worth trying to list it and sell it and ship it, because shipping it would take a big box to ship that thing. Because hats like that, the cowboy hats, you kind of have to get a box that's really big, and then shipping is also very expensive. Here's a summary. So the main stuff I pick up at this one is those Monster High dolls and accessories and figures. They still haven't sold yet, but I only paid $15 for them, and I think they'll probably sell for around $50 at least. The dolls I listed separately than the accessories and figures, or accessories and parts and pieces, but I think that was definitely worth picking up for $15. The Jason Aldean hat y'all saw at the end there, I decided to pass on that. The comps and the sell-through rate wasn't there. Of course, right after I put it back down, someone else picked it up and bought it. But I don't, based on what I looked up at least, the comps weren't there for it. So yeah, that sale was a pretty good one. It was a drive from where my brother and his wife live, as is everything, because they live in the middle of nowhere now. They moved to a random city that's outside of Fayetteville, and it takes like 15 or 20 minutes to get anywhere. I actually also found, I don't think I actually filmed at this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I found a Sony PSP for like $3 at a garage sale on the way back to their house. So it was going down the road back to their house, and I saw a garage sale sign, which wasn't advertised, so I just turned, and lo and behold, that's what I find, is a PSP for like $2 or $3. I don't think it works, but even parts only condition, that probably sells for at least $20 or $30. So that was worth the stop as well. So, and I think I also got some shirts at another sale at that same drive on the way back to their house. So maybe it was worth driving all the way to their house. I mean, it is worth it because I can see my niece and nephews. I keep saying niece and nephew, but I have niece and 2 nephews now. So that's it for this video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, comment your favorite sale, and Merry Christmas, because this will be coming out, well, today actually. So if I can get this filmed and edited, it's coming out today. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a great Christmas. Spend time with your family or whoever you spend time with, and yeah, don't forget to leave a like, comment with your favorite item that I found. Mine's gonna be the Clifford overalls, obviously, for $300. Can't beat that usually. And subscribe. Thanks for watching.